the Bing Bong Knicks Knights. Before we talk about this devastating night, take a look around, people. We went from Twitter Spaces to all kinds of places. It's officially the first episode of the Knights of Degen Meta Media Empire. How you doing?
Let's go. I like that. Listen, honestly, I was depressed until that intro.
All right, thanks. It took everything out of me to bring that energy right now. Jerry's face says it all. All right?
I'm still depressed, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I'm still depressed. I'm trying to not let it project through the screen here, but that was upsetting. But either way, this looks great. Super. I love the intro. Happy to be here. I see the chat is lighting up. This is great. This is great.
Awesome, man. Putting our faces in front of everybody. It's always a good thing. I was hoping we'd have a lot more smiles for the first episode of this thing. But hey, you know what, guys? I think we should still keep that Twitter space atmosphere and we'll let people jump in. So I'm going to go ahead and share that in the chat. So everybody in the chat room, you can jump on the show.
And also feel free to chat. Like, we'll respond to the chat. So
blow up
cool. See the comments, we can respond. This is kind of different, but I'm digging it. This is good.
Yeah. So you know what, guys, let's jump into a little bit of the recap. All right. We lost. Recap over.
Dude.
Jerry, what do you think, dude? Like, to the Magic.
You know, so the Magic have 4 wins now on the year, 2 of which are against our New York Knicks. I told Drew, I think it was in our first Twitter Spaces, I said, listen, okay, when we beat the Celtics and hit 1,000,000 threes and double overtime, all that great stuff, 3 guys at 30, I said, trust me, there's going to be some cold days. Winter is coming. And I hate to say it, I saw some snow last weekend, so it tells me that winter is here. And that was some of the ugliest shooting I have ever seen. 16 for 49 from 3. I think if they were trying to miss, they could have went 17 for 49.
Yeah. Facts. I mean, and it was from top to bottom, just ugly the entire game. And then when you didn't think it'd get worse, that third quarter was trash. I was devastated having to sit there and watch it. I'm like, oh, we're gonna watch this whole thing and do a show tonight. So that's epic.
Yeah, I thought for a minute there we were gonna sneak that one out. Similarly with like the Pacers, we went down 11 and then we battled back. There's a lot of things though that are concerning. Number one, Evan Fournier, who I'm still optimistic on the signing. Yeah. Legendary Mike Breen pointed out a fun little fact that Evan Fournier hasn't played in the last like 5 fourth quarters. So we gave him what, 80 million? I don't know how many $1 million he got.
More than enough.
But no fourth quarter minutes in 5 games.
Listen, we have a bench that's playing ball though. I mean, you can't force the starters to play, but I hear you.
No, I'm not forcing it. He needs to play better and get back into the lineup in the fourth.
It's bad when his best shot. It's bad when the best shot of the night from him was that one where he was off balanced, banked it off the backboard. It was just, he needs to really step up. He was hot in the beginning of the season.
Yeah, honestly, it's funny, Jerry. I think this game is your fault, dude. I remember you overlooked the Magic the first time, and we lost that game, and now we've lost both games to the Magic. We were like, oh, it's the Magic. That was the first team. That was the first.
That Marco Polo saved me so much of my insurance.
No. We beat them.
Farm offers everyone surprisingly great rates.
Sorry about that, guys.
Look, our sponsor. We got sponsors now.
We got sponsors for insurance. How you doing?
I was pulling up a box score. Taco Bell starts talking.
We did a Spaces after we recapped the Magic game and we blew them out. And I was if you remember, I was dancing around because I'm like, you know what? Let's not crap all over the Magic because we played them like 9 times. This is also bad because I pointed out this gauntlet that we have coming up, which I believe starts like November 29th, where we have a 10-game stretch where it's the Bulls twice, the Lakers, the Warriors, the Hawks. It's like disgustingly hard. And no offense to the Magic, they play hard. They have some good young players, but geez, man, you cannot be dropping 2 of 3 in the first month to the Magic and expect to be a top 6 team. Have you looked around at the East now and what the East looks like? Now, obviously, the West has the powerhouses, right? The Wizards are currently the 1 seed. The Bulls might be the best team in the league right now, or at least the best starting 5 right now, because they're also really healthy. We know the Nets are going to be something scary. I mean, the Hornets are now annoying. The Cavs, I might switch to. I seriously, I'm in Ohio right now, where my wife is from. I may switch and get on the Evan Mobley train.
Like, this is one of those moments, Drew, where I'm just like, well, Jerry can no longer be on the show. He had technical difficulties. All right, I'm sorry, Jerry. I'm joking.
I'm still drinking out of a Nick. Like, I'm still trying to have my evening tea.
Let's go. Let's take some positives. Let's take a little bit of positives here.
Okay, I dare you to find it. Let's see what this
you know
one
what?
is going to be.
Before we do that, Drew,
I thought Mitch played ball. Wait, what's up, Jake?
I want to ask you guys. You know what? Let's do this segment real quick. Win or lose, we still have to hype our dudes, right? So,
do it. Who we
Drew,
talking?
I'm gonna give you first stab. Who you going with?
I liked Mitch. I thought Mitch played ball tonight. I don't know if anyone. I mean, listen, he had 11 points, 13 rebounds. He was banging in the paint. I thought he played really well. I don't necessarily understand why he was out of the game at the end, because they were penetrating on us pretty heavily, and I didn't see that was necessary. We went really small. And we couldn't get the rebounds. We were letting them penetrate. It was a big one of those twins. What are the twins' names again?
The Lopez twins? The Wagner twins.
Wagner. I mean, one of them took it to the hole, dunked +1. There was no one behind quickly on that ball. So yeah, I thought Mitch played. Really well. I'm just taking a look at some. I mean, listen, Toppin was fantastic. Toppin is playing.
He really was.
Toppin is playing absolute utter ball. He is energizing the crowd. He is energizing the team. He's playing defense. He's scoring. He's rebounding. He knocked down 2 big threes. So listen, Obi's playing great ball. I thought listen, I think every game, I think Derrick Rose plays well. I didn't think it was his best game. Alec Burks played fantastic. Coming off the bench, dropping 15, that's all you want from Alec Burks every single game. If he can play 25 minutes a game and drop his 15 points, I'm thrilled with that for Alex Burks. That's a perfect role for him. Should he be the one finishing the game? Probably not. I mean, that's a problem that Fournier is not getting it done. I mean, like Fournier and Kemba, you got our whole new backcourt drop 5 points each. That's just a disaster. Right. That's a disaster.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, Mitch, he had 13 points on the night and 11 rebounds. I mean, he definitely was a stud on the rebounds. That's not a question.
Who, you talking about Mitch?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I thought Mitch played a great game. 13 points, 11 rebounds was a defensive presence. Like I thought he played. It's finally looking like maybe he's getting his feet underneath him, and his physicality is just it's light years different than it's been the last couple seasons. I say this every time we talk. It's like those 40 pounds he put on are very obvious, and I'm seeing him throw his weight around a little bit, and he's able to bang down there, and I thought it was good to see.
Yeah, and you mentioned Obi as well, right? I mean, he's really coming through. I mean, if you look stats on the night for that dude, I mean, he had 14 points, 2 assists, 5 rebounds. I mean, I love watching that dude play. I really do. And when he stepped up again tonight, not enough, but looks so good. Jerry, I mean, if you pick somebody, who you putting some credit towards?
Begrudgingly, because I really want to say no one. I was leaning Mitch in the beginning of the game because he was grabbing a lot of boards, and it looked like it was going to be a nice little battle with him and Carter. I actually thought that Bamba ended up sort of not outplaying him, but was more of a menace in the middle. Like a very telling moment was RJ had like a signature RJ drive and then saw Bamba and stopped and didn't go up because Bamba was blocking shit everywhere. Excuse my language. I give it to Alec Burks, though. He almost single-handedly stole that game in a game where nobody wanted to really win. I'm not saying they want to win. No one looked like they wanted to win. He had a stretch, and it really was only one stretch. He did not even really shoot that well. He got some
Right.
boards, a couple of assists. But also, if I'm him, I'm calling my agent tomorrow and saying, like, you guys got to get me more money because Fournier is making more money than me, and I'm playing more minutes than Fournier consistently.
Yeah,
So I thought Burks for me was like a real bright spot. And he stole a couple of games for us last year in similar fashion. I thought he was going to do it again, but I have so many concerns, guys. It really is almost impossible to pull a bright spot. I don't know if you want to come up with a new segment, my list of concerns, but there's a lot. There's a lot.
If you want to start listening, I'll make a nice little graphic with music as you're telling us. Let's talk concerns, Jerry. I'll get it together. Gives me 5 minutes.
Well, biggest one out of the gate is it seems as though the second unit plays harder than the starters. I'm not going to say they're better, but they're playing harder.
But even RJ, wasn't it this week? I mean, in the news, literally saying we need to step up. Our bench is outperforming us.
Listen,
and they're calling it out. They can't even hide from it.
RJ played a solid game. Again, another 17 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, very solid all-around game. Listen, I think that we have, it always ends up coming back to me on, like, we're missing a piece. I say that all the time here as well, is that, like, Randall is not a number one scorer. And, like, there are times when I'm like, I prefer to see Obi in the game, even though I know Obi doesn't have nearly the skill that Randall has. Randall's a better basketball player, but Randall there's just so much pressure on him to be the number one scorer. And if Fournier and Kemba are not opening up the court and they're not knocking down threes, they're not knocking down jumpers, they're not penetrating, able to get Randall in better position, then Randall starts to slow the court down. He starts to play ISO ball. He starts to force his hand a little bit. I mean, what did he shoot? 4 for 15 or something? What was his line?
Randall 4 for 11. Yep. That's the second problem thing I'm concerned about is 4 for 11. 10 of the 11 shots were 3-pointers.
3-pointers.
Okay. He took 2 free throws. The Knicks as a whole, we're 8 for 12 from the line. Usually that is a game for Randall, 8 for 12, not the entire team. We're relying too much on the 3. And look, when we're hot, it looks great. And when everyone's raining threes from all over the place, fantastic. It's going to be a good night. But I don't think that's our full identity. We shot well from 3 last year. We overachieved. We weren't a great 3-point shooting team. It was defense and timely plays. The defense is not there. Big concern number 2. I don't know if Tibbs fully knows what guys to play. He's doing the smart thing where he's rewarding the guys who are playing hard.
I agree. I think
it's almost like you bring Randall back in. He hasn't 3 minutes to go, and what, he's supposed to bail us out now after sitting for a quarter and a half.
I think he's being put in a tough spot, though. He's being put in a tough position. He wants to keep a rotation. Tibbs likes a rotation. He likes a consistent rotation where everybody knows their role. That's what he would prefer to see. Problem is right now is that the bench is playing too strong. The starters are just not bringing the energy. And then he feels almost forced and pressured to put Randall back in a game because he doesn't want to answer, he doesn't want to go to every post-game interview saying, why'd you bench the starters? And no coach wants to have to answer that every single night after the game's over. Hey, coach, why are you benching your starters? And that's the front page of the news. Starters didn't play in the fourth quarter again. So, and listen, he's always been loyal to Randall. He's also a loyal guy, Tibbs. Like he plays the guys. He plays his favorites. Like he plays his Derrick Rose. He plays Randall to all minutes of the game. He plays RJ all minutes of the game. He plays his favorites. I just think that right now, because of the fact that these guys are really out of their flow right now. He's being put in a tough spot.
You want giant concern number 3?
Oh, give it to us, Jerry.
So
make it rain.
We did not lose to a Magic team that even played well. We lost to the Magic, and they had their B game. We actually outshot. That was one of I felt terrible for Mike Breen at points in the game. I heard him being like, my God, they're still shooting threes. Like he just wanted to go bang so bad, and nobody would let him go bang. No one would let him do it. The Magic shot 40% from the field. The Knicks shot, what was it, like 42%? We actually outshot them. They won the rebound battle, but it was by 3. The turnover battle was close. We had more assists, and they just outshot. Like, they did not play well. No one on their team played well. Ross got hot for a minute. Then Suggs got hot for a minute there, and he doesn't even shoot the three well. So it's concerning. It really is. Unless we're just playing down the competition, and when we play the good teams, we'll play up. But
so let me ask you a question. Do you think is there even a discussion? And I'm asking this. I don't really have an opinion on it, or I probably do. But do you think there's any question to change the starting lineup?
I think there's only one move if you do. There's maybe two. I think there is a world where you go Rose for Kemba and let Kemba come off the bench, although you do maybe risk kind of losing him entirely. I don't know, because it's something he's never really done in his career. And Rose is certainly very comfortable in that lineup. And then obviously the Burks for Fournier move. But Burks, I mean, there was one point there was no Rose or Kemba in the lineup, and it was quickly RJ and Burks, and Burks was the primary ball handler.
I like that lineup.
I enjoyed it, but
we had a nice little run when they brought that little squad together.
I actually took a note that I liked that lineup a lot. It was with Quickly and Burks in the backcourt. Obi, who was it? Obi, Barrett, and
well, they at one point it was Robinson, but then they swapped Robinson for Randall, and they were just trying to. And Taj was in there for a minute.
I was enjoying the lineup. I was enjoying that lineup when it was Mitch at the center. They were just fast paced. They were moving the ball. They had a lot of shooting out there. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was a fun lineup to watch. I mean, listen, like Orlando's a pesky team. Let's not again. We can't keep discrediting that team. They are pesky and they are young and there's a little core there. I mean, Cole Anthony's a baller. Cole Anthony is a ball player. That kid can jump. He can play. He's a football player.
He shot 5 for 21, Drew.
No, he had a bad game, but he's a ball player. He comes through.
Yes, but he shot 5 for 20. When your best player, arguably on the Magic, is Cole Anthony, who had an all-around game. He almost had a triple-double.
Yeah.
But he shoots 5 for 21. You got to win the game. Concern number 4. In Madison Square Garden, twice you lost to the Magic. I think we're like, I forget. Hold on. Let me see I don't even know if I want to look up what the record is at home, but it ain't good. I can tell you that. It ain't good.
Yeah, no, I'm checking out. I'm just looking at some of the stats on the team right now. I mean,
so we got, let's see, we'll run down points wise, right? Randall putting up 13. Mitch gave us 13. Kemba with 5. Fournier with 5.
Ugh.
Barrett came through with 17. Highest points of the night. Toppin with 14. Taj, nothing. Rose gave us 10. Burks 15. And IQ with 6.
I mean, there was a point where we had more step on the sideline out of bounds than threes. Going into like the third quarter. We stepped on the out of bounds line more than we had made threes.
Yeah, we had a majority of those just in that first quarter. It was like, okay, the court's like not big enough.
We were 3-5 at home. Now, the only other saving grace is that we are 5-2 on the road, which is great. But yeah, I don't know. You got to defend.
I mean, you want to see a crazy stat? Obi Toppin plus 11 tonight. Julius Randle minus 21.
I don't think you could start tinkering because it really like
I don't think
we make Game of Thrones references like Winter's here. Like it's that episode where all the White Walkers are like coming and you see them cut like that. It's here. So,
Yeah, I don't think you tinker. Also, because I remember someone said in a game, I think it was last game, that the Knicks second unit is like one of the highest performing units in basketball, period, including starting lineups. So I don't think
Duncan is here with your holiday helpers, peppermint mocha and
please stay tuned after this commercial break.
Brought to you by Peppermint Mocha.
It's so annoying. You can't put on ESPN.com to get the stats. But yeah, like Obi was plus 11. Julius Randle was minus 21, and Mitch Robinson was plus 8. Like there were those the players who played well. You can see what happened there, but the guys who didn't. They just got completely destroyed out.
Well, Mitch fell on his hip. I don't know if that actually is he never came back. He made that one offensive rebound, fell, and landed on his hip, and somehow we also got like a break. There was a jump ball, but they said we called timeout, which was insane. And then I don't think he ever came back in. I think that was it for him.
I think Mitch needs to do. He has to go through some like fan controlled football like drills because that guy does not know how to stand on his feet. Like he has to be like he's got to stay on his feet. Like I'd say like
I'll message him now and tell him combines are December 4th. I got it. All right, I'll let him know.
He's jacked though. He's jacked.
he's huge right now. So yeah, I mean that was like I think he's a little bit he's going to be risky and getting injury prone with how much he's fallen and playing on the floor right now. But so who do we have now? Who do we have next?
Let's see. Here, do you want me to look so this way we don't get another
another advertisement?
No ads?
Free ads? No free ads.
Before we do that, let's take a quick break.
Yeah.
So while you're looking that up, I actually want to remind everybody in the chat, if you want to jump on, the link is in the chat there for you guys. Click it. Get on here. Talk with us. Let's, see, I want your opinion. I see you guys in there. People somehow know my brother, and you guys are talking about the Magic. Calm down, but you can still come on and talk a little bit.
Magic show.
Yeah. And there goes the logo.
Okay, we got the Rockets on Saturday night. If we lose that one, guys, it is time to start rooting for the Cavs, because then I think we start that gauntlet. I think we got the Lakers in New York.
This was a bad loss.
It was one. Honestly, it's hard to say it's like one of the worst, because we've seen extremely bad ones over the years, but in the last year and almost a half now, whatever, year and a quarter, this is one of the worst losses. And again, it's not a disrespectful thing to the Magic. We're at home. They snuck up on us last time and beat us, so there's no way you could say it was I saw someone mention in the chat that it was a trap game. It's not a trap game when the team beat you a week ago.
Right.
Wait, am I seeing this right? Is Houston like 1-14?
That sounds approximately correct.
Oh my God. Yeah, this is a scary.
Yeah, they have no Houston's not trying to win. And like I said, if we lose that one, okay, there's
a problem.
Then Houston,
Sound
we
the
have a
alarm.
problem.
Yeah,
Seriously.
it's funny. They have some talent too. Christian Wood. I'm a huge Christian Wood fan. I'm a huge Kevin Porter Jr. fan. I think both of those guys are great ball players. Jalen Green. I mean, they're
paying John Wall $40 million, and he's sitting for the year, pretty much. He's not going to play, and that's $40 million in your cap. So, I don't know. They're
young. I mean, they got
Sheila said they're 2 years away from being 2 years away.
Yeah,
it's one of my favorite quotes ever.
In my life.
Well, look, since we don't have people jumping in yet, guys, I put a little thing together, and for those of you in the chat room, take part if you want, but I figured I'd spring this on you, Drew and Jerry. All right, hold on.
All right.
So it's simple. I have a feeling we're gonna get a lot of knots, but it's called hot or not. All right, I'm gonna give you a topic real quick. All I need is a hot or not, Jerry. You'll start first. All right.
Yep.
Outside the loss, RJ and Big Mitch Robinson's chemistry tonight. Hot or not?
Not. I didn't really notice it.
Okay, fair. Drew, hot or not? Alex Burks.
I thought Alex Burks was hot. I thought he played great. I thought he played a great game. I thought he played a complete ball game. Again, he's playing the role we need. And if you have Burks finishing the game, you know that the only reason he's finishing the game is because he's outplaying his position and the expectations, because he's not supposed to. It's not his role. He's supposed to come in, energize, drop his 10 to 14 points, and then let the starters play their game. And the fact that he's finishing a game shows that he's playing hot.
All right, Jerry, I'm gonna give you a bunch of easy ones tonight, bro. Knicks defense, hot or not?
Kyle said there's a good cop, bad cop. I'm after 20 years of losing, I try to find any bright spot in every Knicks game. I'm one of those never ending, try to find optimism in Knicks fans, but I hear
I usually am too. This one,
it was rough.
Maybe I've gotten used to being good for a year, and now I'm spoiled. I'm not allowed to have nice things, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I'm the bad cop, Kyle Sheridan. Really? I'm the bad cop? Really? You asked me about the Knicks defense, right?
Hot or not?
Not. And they're not playing terrible. Like I said, the Magic did not shoot well. The defense was good tonight. The defense was good enough to win tonight. So I'm going to say not because we lost, but the defense is not really the problem to me, in my opinion.
So I'm gonna touch on this one too. All right, because when that first quarter started and our defense was looking really nice, but yet we couldn't convert anything on offense. we had a 4-minute span there where it was 19-15 for a good 4.5 minutes.
Like
with us stopping, literally stealing the ball, everything, and couldn't put any points. So I'm gonna agree with you on that one. It's a not. You ready for one, Drew?
Yeah, let's go. What you got?
Julius Randle's 3-point shot.
Oof.
Hot or not?
Not. I mean, Julius Randle shouldn't be shooting that many threes. I'd like to see him play a little bit more of a mid-range game. I think that's when he's playing his best. I think that I'd like to see. I mean, he's got to also develop a little bit of a back-to-a-basket game. It'd be nice to see a little bit of a post-up game there. Call me old-fashioned, but I like to see a back-to-the-basket post-up game. I don't love how he's playing. Listen, I'm going to repeat this 100 times. I don't like Randle as a number one option, and I think that whenever he is a number one option, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge. And I think he's forcing it again. And this is he goes through these modes. Like, listen, there are games when he puts us on his back because he is willing to carry us, but like he's trying to carry the team every single game, and it's just not going to happen. And when he does try to carry the team and doesn't have it, it becomes more of a negative than even a zero. It's a negative.
Yeah, definitely not.
I
think
do,
you're gonna
go ahead. I want to hear this one. No, but I do, to further that point, it's like I do think that the offense flows. Their second unit's flowing a little better because they're running a little more sets, and it's not just as much as like, and it worked last year, but it was a lot of ISO. Like, here, Julius, here's the ball, go get a bucket, or a little 2-man game. But like, I don't know, but when the second unit comes in, we see that pick and roll with Obi, and obviously, and they still overthrow it. The lob is there, been screaming for it for weeks. We started to see it quickly. If you would have said what quickly and Obi's chemistry hot, they're hitting those lobs. Everyone else overthrew Toppin, which is a very, very hard thing to do.
Yeah.
Sorry, boy, I interrupted though.
No, you're good. Come on now. So here's a really tough one for you, Jerry. All right, we're gonna end it on this one for hot or not. Dick Barnett looking like an OG. What's up? Come on, hot. So
not
hot.
Even best part of the evening potentially.
The whole night, I was like, show him again. He looked like a G. So I thought that hot or not was a decent segment for us to try out. At least the beats are exciting.
No. We're gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right.
It's gonna be perfect.
The segments so far, they're off the cuff. I'm like, I just want to see what's next. These are good.
Hey, we just keep it going, right? So
yeah. So I'm back looking at the schedule again, guys, because I'm just like I'm looking at our record right now, 8-7. And it's like not where I want to be right now at 15 games in, like 8-7. We had a pretty, like, if you look at our schedule to date, we had Boston, Orlando 3 times. We've had Orlando 3 times. Yeah, we won 1-2. Yeah. We had Philly, Chicago. We had Philly when they were broken. We had Chicago. We had New Orleans when they were broken. 2 to
the Pacers. We split.
Yeah, we had the Pacers. We had a Bucks, which we had a great win at, and then a lost one. Cleveland was a loss, which was a tough loss, and Charlotte was a tough loss. This was a relatively easy schedule, though. Really, like we should have been I don't see how we're not 10-4. I mean, it's a 10-5. That's a rough schedule to not come out of that 10-5. And now we're entering an interesting. Where are the Bulls at right now? How are they playing?
Very,
Bulls are
very
what,
well.
10-4. Yeah.
The Bulls are 10-4, tied for first with the Wizards.
I mean, we got a run here. We got the Bulls, we got the Lakers, we got the Suns, we got the Hawks, we got Brooklyn, the Bulls.
This home stretch was supposed to be the stretch where we were able to take a little bit back, get up some leeway.
Jerry, we said it last. We said it last time. After this run, if they don't come out of this whole run, what did we say? 10. There was 10 games. Remember, there was 10 games.
You 5-5 was it or 4?
We were saying 5-5. We are already 1-2 since that conversation. We were doing it after the Charlotte game, so we're 1-2 going into a stretch of 7 games that are going to be very, very difficult.
we gotta beat. I mean, seriously, if there's a loss to Houston on Friday, I'm gonna be busting out on the next Knicks night with an Evan Mobley jersey.
Yeah,
just telling you right now, it's gonna happen. And I've never jumped ship my whole entire life. I've stuck with it. If they lose to the Rockets Friday night, I'm coming back with an Evan Mobley jersey. Let's go Cavs all day long.
It's gonna be brutal. So let's be real, right? I mean, obviously, we can sit here and say if they do, there's no way we can lose.
It can't. It would be no. We're good. We're good.
Right?
We'll reset there, and we'll see. I do think there's a version or a world with this team where, like, I don't want to say they overlook anyone because we're not that good, but maybe get these out of the way now because it's a great reminder, and Tibbs is not going to let him forget because losing 2 out of 3 at home to Orlando is
all right. So let's do a quick little fast forward, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we agree we should have that Houston one, right? Bulls, are we going yay or nay on that? It'd be a tough.
I'm worried because we kind of put it on them. They made it closer in the end that first time we played them than it should have been. We were in control of that whole entire game. So
do you guys feel that at times, and you see it throughout the game? We're playing down to our competition. Do you feel that at all?
I feel like we've been doing that for 20 years. So I'm so used to that. It's like, that's nothing. We used to, when we were, 90s Knicks, we ate these teams up for breakfast. That's why we were a 60-win team. We didn't lose these games. We were 60-win teams every year, 50 to 60 win team, because we ate the games up that we were supposed to eat. And we just don't, for the last 20 years, we play down to the competition. But like that also does lend itself to, I believe we will, like, we're playing the Lakers at the Garden, TNT, 7:30. Like, it seems like the kind of game LeBron comes back for because he's LeBron and he loves the spotlight. He's been on the mend for a bit, but I hear he's coming back. And if there's ever a game for him to come back from, it's the Garden, as loud as it's been. What does he play there one time a year? Like, LeBron's not missing that game. So my prediction is LeBron comes back for that game. The crowd is going to be so into it. That could be one of those games that the Knicks really get it together. Like, as the optimistic Knicks fan with the crowd behind them and LeBron coming back, it's the kind of game where I could see the Knicks really come out strong and just punch the Lakers in the face. And if that happens, maybe that gives them some momentum. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, Jerry, jumping after that one, it's Phoenix, right? That one scares me a bit.
It's a bad matchup for us. It just is that Phoenix is a bad matchup for us.
It's a tough stretch.
I called it. I called this stretch. Now, again, if we come out of this stretch like we talked about, anything 5-5 or above, it's like you could take a breath and say, all right, we're on track. We're okay. We're hanging around, but we're really going to see what this team is made of, and we're going to see how much of, like, do we have a hangover from last year? And we'll find out, because I'm telling you, man, the East is scared. The Hawks aren't even playing well yet. They're only beating teams in the East. They've lost, I think, like every West Coast team. They're not even playing yet. So
they're 7-9, right? But when you look at their schedule, that's one of those ones. By the time they come to us after our Phoenix game, if they're catching fire,
I mean, the 11 seed and 12 seed is the Bucks and the Hawks. Like, I look at these standings, right? Washington's 10-4. Maybe they fall off, although they got all sorts of chemistry going.
Wait, did you say the Washington is 10-4?
Washington's 10-4. No, Washington, and Bradley Beal's not even playing well yet. Like, he's playing fine, but he's not like doing. Kuzma's been amazing. Dinwiddie is like a beast.
I had no idea that the Washington Wizards were first place in the East right now.
And all those dudes they got from the Lakers, like Kuzma, KCP, look great. Dinwiddie looks great.
So Beal's averaging 23. Montrezl Harrell averaging 18 points, 8 rebounds. He's having Dinwiddie. Yeah. I really like Dinwiddie.
I don't think they're going anywhere. I don't think the Bulls are going anywhere. Definitely the Nets. If anything, the Nets can only give. Somehow the Nets haven't even played well. They're 11-5, and they haven't even been playing well.
They're not even. They don't look like a good team. By the way, did you see that Stephen A. Smith rant today? Did you happen to see that, Jerry?
I did not.
Oh man, it was fantastic. I mean, Stephen A. came out and was just like, Durant made such a bad decision for going to Brooklyn. He's playing in Brooklyn. Fucking Kyrie just left him stranded, like completely just bailed on him.
Oh, you posted that today on Twitter. Yeah, I did see this one.
Kyrie bailed on him. Harden is playing like absolute garbage, and he's left out here alone right now, trying to fight, playing his ass off. In a stadium, in an arena that nobody cares. Nobody gives a shit. They were rooting for the Warriors and chanting Curry MVP the entire game against the Warriors.
I got news for you. That got nothing to do with Kyrie Irving.
No.
Kyrie could have been at that game, and they still would have been doing that.
You're so fair, but at least that, like, when you have Kyrie, you have your run. Kyrie I remember all the videos of Kyrie whispering in his ear, talking to him outside. Mm-hmm. Kyrie was trying to work to get him over there to Brooklyn, where he should have been going to the Knicks and becoming a fucking hero. And instead, he went to Brooklyn to play with Kyrie, to play with Harden.
They made that decision together. Kyrie didn't go to Brooklyn first. They went together. It was like if anything, I heard opposite things, that like Durant is the one who sort of picked Brooklyn and was telling Kyrie to like, I don't know. I think it was, it was a bad decision, but I don't think that like Brooklyn would have been any different if Kyrie's playing. I think Curry put on a show.
Yeah.
Against, maybe it would have been a closer game. It would have been different.
He's lights out.
If I'm Durant, as any person on the Nets, you watch that game in your home court, and Kyrie's sitting at home watching the game, and he's just not watching his team get annihilated and embarrassed, really, against Durant's old team. I would be furious at Kyrie right now. I think Kyrie should be cut. I have very strong opinions that he is just not stepping up for his team right now, which is just really rough. Really,
I don't know. The Warriors are the best team in the league right now. I don't think there's any shame in getting blown out against the team that's playing fantastic right now.
Brooklyn's lost to every good team they've played, though.
But Harden's not in shape. Harden could be helping a lot more. It's not like the Nets don't have obviously missing Kyrie is huge. He's one of the 20, 25 best players in the league, easy. And when he's on, he's top 15. But it's not like there's a bunch of empty chairs there. They got a lot of talent on that team.
So turn into the chat room for a bit. All right, I just want to see what they got going on here. We've got New York Originals in there. We need to stop the desperation threes when we're down in the final quarter. Toppin needs more playing time. He's special and will grow. Thoughts?
I agree. I mean, the 3-point shooting is just bad. But yes, there's definitely a reliance on it. And when that's not your strong suit, it's hard to say you should be relying on it. Toppin should be playing more, maybe. I don't know. It could be one of those things, and I'd be curious to see. I don't know, if you give him 30 minutes, do you see that the fact that he's still only in his second year? I don't know. He's he played 19 minutes. He was great.
Great. I don't know. I honestly don't know what more minutes does for Obi yet. I'm not ready to say Obi should be playing starter minutes. I haven't seen a really complete skill set enough yet. I think
that because he's not getting the time, though. Do we give him the time and see what comes of it?
If I saw some more glimpses of a little bit more of a complete offensive game, I think right now he's really reliant on the fast break. And he'll have games where he'll go, he'll hit 2 out of 4 threes, and he'll have games where he'll go 1 for 6, or whatever it is. He's not a great 3-point shooter. When he makes them, we're more surprised than we're more surprised when they go in than they're not. So yeah, I mean, listen, I don't know what we can expect from Obi. I think we're getting what we should expect out of a second-year player that's really learning and developing a skill set. And then you also got to, listen, Randall averages 36 minutes a game. He needs to be playing less. He is getting burnt out also. I think that can we actually consider that maybe that's part of what's going on with Randall right now? He's playing a lot of minutes. I think he's leading the league again.
I think RJ is actually Randall might be number 3. I think it's that close, but yeah, listen, I don't know. I mean,
it can definitely play a part.
He got us here. Randall got us here. I mean, the team got us here, but Randall really got us here. He took such a step up. It's almost like sophomore jinx from like your breakout year because now everyone's game planning for him. But yeah, I do think there is just an overall reliance on the 3-point shot with this whole team. And I get it. Like even Breen said it tonight. He's like, Clyde, I understand analytics and I love analytics, but this is just some bad 3-point shooting.
It really, it was. I mean, it was all around. So while you're looking that up, Drew, Jerry, we've got some hard-hitting questions in here.
I like hard-hitting ones.
People in the chat would like to know if there's actually pictures in the frame.
Of mine?
Yeah, I see the frames are filled in the background.
I mean, is that? Did we read that incorrectly? Yeah, there's pictures. I mean, this is Patrick Ewing right here.
All right. Well,
that's Patty right there.
You want to hear something funny about that picture?
Oh, it might actually be. Wait, what's behind you?
I was just talking to someone who told me they actually have the jersey he's wearing in that picture, and they bought one. That's a great item right there.
Yeah, I mean, no one can tell what that is, but that is every character in Mike Tyson's Punch Out in chronological order.
Love that.
Nice.
Love that.
Nice
right there. Love that.
We've got CJ Curry in the chat, fellow Knight. Listen, the Magic and the Knicks will both be watching from home at some point. Neither team is winning any rings this year.
Way to go out on a ledge there, CJ Curry. Ready to take a real risk with that prediction. You really went out there. I wonder what the DraftKings odds are of with the Knicks or the Magic winning a championship. Sorry, I'm salty right now.
So I saw someone in the comments talk about Weissman. What do you think about Weissman? You think he comes out and plays well?
I just want to see him play. That's the other thing, right? Like the Warriors are playing the best basketball in the league, and we got Clay and Wiseman like looming, and Kuminga has Kuminga. I don't even know where Kuminga is. He hasn't played at all, right? Like it's so weird because, I mean, again, it's only 15, 20 games, not even, but and right. Curry's off to like an MVP start, and Draymond's back, but yeah, they have all this help coming. If Klay Thompson is 75% of what he was, I mean, I'm hoping he's 100 because that's just someone I loved watching play. Man, I mean, the Warriors are going to be scary. Who knew they were going to only take really like a year off and then be right back to it? Literally. I mean, it's just every game they just look fantastic, and you hate to admit it, but when you turn on the highlights, you tune in, it's like, oh man, Curry and his 9 threes in the game, just killing it. Yeah. What we just put up back there, Drew?
So I this is my house upstate, so I don't have much here yet. We only bought it a year ago. But I found this old Ewing in the rafters thing. So everyone's kind of I got nothing back here. So I was like, all right, let me put something back there. Old Patrick Ewing, in the rafters, some kind of jersey looking thing. So I was
the chat room's recommending you get some COD swag on your wall back there.
Yeah, I got to. I'm back and forth between here and Brooklyn. I spend more time in Brooklyn though.
So Kuminga has played, by the way. Kuminga has played 8 games. Roughly 8.5 minutes a game. Yeah, and he's not factored, but it's just crazy because you look at where the Warriors took him. I don't even remember who was on the board that they still even could have took right there. I'll look that up, but it's going to be interesting. I really hope Clay is healthy and ready to go because he's a game changer for everyone.
That is such a good team with Clay. You had Clay and you had Weissman. Oof, that team is just that's a dirty team.
Ridiculous. Yeah. See, we got another one in there. Randall is not the go-to guy. The team is young. They have to share that ball and see who the man of the hour is in every game. I guarantee you there will be a different star every night. Yeah, we saw that a couple times, right? With RJ coming in, 20-plus games. That Ewing thing's fire. But who else? I mean, let's say he does switch it around. Is there a rotation, Drew, that you think, hey, here's a 5 I want to see playing together outside of our regular starting rotation? You're the GM. What are you doing? You're the coach.
I don't think you change the starting lineup right now.
Okay.
I don't think you change the starting lineup. I think you do. I think maybe. I mean, personally, I actually think I'd mix it up and put our rookie in there a little bit. I'd give him some burn. I think he might energize the team a little bit. He plays real hard defense. He's got a great stroke. When the team is shooting the three as bad as they are, you mix it up a little bit. And I don't know if you guys saw this. Miles McBride had a game in Westchester, 30 and like 9. He's a ball player. I've been waiting for him to go to Westchester and see how he plays, and he lit up Westchester. But I'd throw the Rook in a little bit. I think I like the idea. I like the run and gun. I like this push the ball offense. I think it's interesting when they let Taj play the 5. Not Taj, sorry. When Obi plays a little bit of the 5 and they go run and gun. Interesting. I mean, what moves are there really to make right now? The guys just aren't they're not going to win if Kemba doesn't play his game. Kemba is a difference maker when he plays well. And Fournier just need to ball. They need to play ball, and right now they're just not getting it done.
I'll give you that. So Jerry, after he said that, someone in the chat said, thoughts on the possibility of a Kemba trade? If so, which team and what would you want in return?
There's no trade out there. That's it's not really like an asset. Like, yes, he's on a great contract, but I mean, we would want a point guard in return, right? So let's start looking at point guards we would want over Kemba. I don't really think that there's a trade out there.
I'll tell you, I'd trade Kemba and 2 first-round picks today for Ben Simmons. I would.
But that would never, Drew, we've been through this on Twitter Spaces.
We've never talked Kemba.
Your trade offers, of course we would do that. But Maury's refusing way higher. He turned down a James Harden trade because he wanted to throw in Maxey.
Nobody ever accepts my trade offers in fantasy sports ever.
You're that guy. You're like the guy who's like, listen. Okay, Amari Cooper's playing really well, so give me Tyreek Hill. All right, you throw in Kelsey. I'll give you back Waller. He'll be back in 3 weeks. Kemba and 2 first-round picks. That's gonna be Kemba and the 15th and the 17th pick. That never happened. There's no trade.
I'm looking at the comment up there. IQ. I think IQ deserves some more minutes. Also,
I agree.
I think he's playing great ball, and he is just
even his defense is nice. He's just all over the place, and he's hype when he's in there.
He's definitely an energizer bunny. He's fearless out there. I really enjoy seeing him. I enjoy seeing him on the court, but he's earning his minutes. Really, he's taking minutes from Fournier. He's taking some minutes out of you guys noticed there was no Rose or Kemba on the court for a minute today. So, I listen. I think that the people that I'd be looking at I think there are 2 options in Portland. I think Lillard and McCollum are both interesting options. I do think Simmons is interesting. I think Zach LaVine is interesting. I think Brogdon is interesting if he's available. I think I'm taking a look around, seeing if I come up with some other names that I really like here that can actually be difference makers on the team. Bradley Beal, they're playing too well, unfortunately. Karl Anthony Towns is an interesting possibility. Maybe moving. I don't know where he fits though. At that point, you're basically giving up on Randall. And if you're playing with the 4, or you're moving, or you're letting Mitch come off the bench at the 5, which is strange. But at least you're getting a 25-point game scorer who's pretty consistent.
Well, what are we giving? Do you know what the package would cost for Towns?
Yeah.
It would be similar probably to what they would ask for all these other. It would be Robinson, RJ picks.
You're saying so Robinson, Kemba, and 2 first-round picks still doesn't get that done?
No way. Not in a million years. Because you're talking about 2 first-round picks that are going to be mid to late first-round picks. Everyone wants lottery picks. They don't want. If you give them Cat and the Knicks are good still, and they're similar to what we did with Porzingis, right? The picks aren't what was good about that trade. Is the fact that it opened us up to go get Randall, and then he had an all-star, all-NBA season. But do you remember what those picks turned out to be for Porzingis? Because the Mavs are a good team and they win. And if we get Karl Anthony Towns, those draft picks are going to be 17, 18, 19. they're not doing not for that. It would have to be those 2 picks and like 2 or 3 young players, and then they'd maybe throw us some shit back.
I mean, I love Colin Sexton. I'm looking at other players who I really like.
I love Sexton too, but yes, I do love him. He's a little hurt now, but he's a great option. But if you're the Cavs, you're not taking Kemba Walker and giving up a young player. You're like one of the youngest teams in the league, and you're playing well. You're not taking like a veteran player who wants to try and win now. Kemba is going to be on the Knicks for the rest of the year unless something crazy happens. All the Knicks are going to be on the Knicks for the rest of the year unless injury or something. There's no trades. And the Wizards already said we are not trading Beal. And Morey's already he said, I don't care if it takes 3 or 4 years. I'm getting value for Ben Simmons.
John Wall wants out of Houston.
Yeah, of course he does. Yes, I get it. They're 1-14, but he's also making $40 million a year. 40. That's a 40 a year.
What's the deal with Wall? What's going to happen with him?
I don't know. I don't know if he becomes like a buyout guy. He's not going to play. I don't know if they really just try to get any. Like, honestly, the 2 firsts and Kemba, that's like a deal that the Rockets may do just to get rid of the contract. That's the player you're looking at. Yeah. Because they want to get off the contract. And you know what? I would take a flyer on a John Wall, but that contract, I don't even know what he's got left on it, how many years, but it's insane. Yeah,
it's a rough contract. Honestly, and I don't think I'm ready.
He's played 2 years.
I'm also not ready to quit on Kemba, by the way. I know we came up, we were talking about Kemba.
No.
I'm not quitting on Kemba yet. I actually think Kemba's a ball player. I just think he's got to figure it out. He's got to figure it out soon.
Yeah. I mean, Jonathan Sands in the chat, right? He says Kemba's such a good guy. He wants to win so badly, he feels bad for him that he's underperforming. And he will figure it out. I mean, he's the guy that loves to perform at the Garden, right? We just got to get that Kemba back.
It's 15 games, and he actually has had a couple of stretches where, I mean, again, the whole team, those first 8-9 games, I think Kemba had like a 2-3 game stretch where he was like 8 for 11 from 3. You know, like it'll get there. But
all right, any final questions from the crowd?
So anybody in there? Any other questions in the chat before we wrap it up?
Throw the
You
comments.
also have a chance to come on if you want. We got a couple more minutes left here. Let's pull this up real quick.
John Wall or Kemba? John Wall
or Kemba.
I think I'm taking Kemba. I don't know.
Kemba.
I don't even know what John Wall is at this point.
Yeah, I mean, we got Project Nerd HQ. Love John Wall, but he is washed at this point.
Yeah, I think so too.
We don't know. That's the thing. No one's seen him.
I mean, we haven't seen him in a long time too. What can the Knicks do to go deeper in the playoffs? That's what we're talking about here. I mean, we're talking about them missing a piece. They like, listen, do they have the pieces to be able to be very competitive when they play well? Absolutely. They can beat anybody in the league. They have a very competitive team, and when they play well, they are dangerous, and they're deep as hell, which is valuable on most teams. Not as much with Tibbs, but like still valuable. And but they do definitely need a go-to scorer. They need a number one. And I think, honestly, that's either Randall or Fournier or Kemba. One of those 3 guys have got to step up and be consistent 25-point a game scorers. And right now, there's no one averaging more than 18 on the team. That's a problem.
And what worries me is every conversation people have when it comes to trades, you're always having to add a name like Mitch. I'm not ready to give up on Mitch. I love that dude. Right. So I can't see a package where we're giving him up yet.
And Jonathan, I'm commenting to Jonathan right there, but like, I'm actually not as worried about Kemba's knees right now because we have the depth. I mean, we have 4 guards that can step in and play at any time. Kemba could take a night off whenever he wants. Kemba can play 20 minutes a game whenever he needs. We have Derrick Rose, we got Quickly, we got Burks, we got the rookie Deuce. We have serious depth at point guard where like he's never going to get pushed too much. I think the coach he's not going to push, bro. He knows what he's dealing with Kemba. I don't think he's going to throw Kemba into 30 minutes a game. He doesn't need to. He's also, his favorite player in the world is Derrick Rose. So Derrick Rose is always going to get his share of minutes. Right. And he'll go down with Rose any day of the week.
We'll take one more in there. We got, do you think RJ will ever be all NBA?
I do.
I see the path because he's a two-way player. right? And that always earns you extra points. And, through the first 8 games, he, didn't really shoot so well. Then he had an amazing, 3-4 game stretch where he was like knocking everything down and his shot was there. And now he's kind of back hold again. But the efforts there, I'm just a big fan of it's what I saw with Kobe all those years living in LA. Like you could just tell the guys that want to be great. And sometimes obviously talent will limit you whether you have it or not. I think RJ has it all. And he wants to be great. So I would bet that he could sneak in and maybe not an all NBA first, maybe, but I think in his future, I could definitely see, especially if he continues to grow on the defensive end and if he get a little more consistent with that 3-point shot, I absolutely could see it.
Yeah, 100%. Well, guys, I think it's right about that time for us to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Hey, can I point out that we did it. We got our first episode here.
We don't practice. We don't need practice.
What do you mean? Just put the camera on. How you doing? It's the Knights of Degen Meta Media Empire. It's taking off. So I know we'll let people know we're going to do our next episode next week, right? So hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll all
we're going to try to do. We're going to try to always do at least one a week. That's kind of the goal.
Yeah, usually wins only, but we had our first little loss on our opening show.
It's different when you're live, right?
So you have to post it on
social.
Yeah, you guys wouldn't have had to live through my awful expressions.
Actually, should we just actually lock in right now? Knicks Lakers is that's not. We have Houston, which we could happily talk about. It'll be nice to have a fun Houston game, but really, I think the next one we should do is probably the Lakers.
When is that? The 23rd?
I'm looking right now. I lost my schedule. Do you have the schedule?
I think it's the 23rd. Yeah, we should look into that.
All right, so that'd
be a fun one.
Let's plan to see you guys Knicks Lakers next week.
Yeah, I'll be a lot happier if we sneak in a win or two before that. This one hurt, guys.
So you said what after the Houston game?
Next week. Yeah, right.
That makes the most
Dubs
sense.
only. Dubs only.
Guys, everybody in the chat room, all you Knights, all you Knicks fans, appreciate everybody tuning in to Bing Bong Knicks Nights. Look forward to continuously putting out this content. Guys in the Discord, get in there. We got a lot more content and news coming up for you guys. The media empire is just starting. And I appreciate everybody tuning in. Drew, have a great night. Jerry, have a great night. And you guys know me, JiggaManPorto.